Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Dice Tower. I'm Camilla, and today I'm going to bring you my top 10 dice chucking games. Now, what is a dice chucking game to me? To me, a dice chucking game, it has a element to it where you're going to be rolling a lot of dice. Most of the time, there are some exceptions to that in my list here, but most of the time you're chucking a handful of dice, and the gameplay is very dependent on that, whether that's your strategy, whether that's the end winning goal of the game or the winning condition of the game. It's very dice driven, and there's some element to that, either handful or very few dice, that really drive the gameplay. So for me, these are my top 10 games that have a dice chucking element in them. At number 10, I have Fuse. Now, this is the first one I thought of when I thought of dice chucking, because you really are just chucking dice the entire time non-stop. It is going to be a real-time game where there are some goals. It's going to be cooperative, so these are communal goals that you're trying to complete in a special order. Sometimes it's going to be have the right color dice, sometimes it's going to have the right number dice, maybe a combination of those two, and you have to complete all these challenges to win in a very real-time element. I really like the non-stop action of this. I think if I think dice chucking, this is immediately where my mind goes. I have a set pool of dice that I am chucking throughout the entire time, assigning them, re-rolling, assigning, re-rolling, completing a goal, clearing it, grabbing the full pool again, re-rolling the dice, constantly until you either meet the goal in the allotted time or the time runs out. So my number 10 is going to be Fuse. And at number 9, we have Tidal Blades Heroes of the Reef. This is a competitive game where you are ultimately trying to become a hero of the reef here. So you are going to be leveling up your character, going through to different locations to complete challenges, and assigning dice. I consider this one about dice chucking because you get to set your dice pool, and there's a lot of really good tension in that, because as you assign that dice pool or grab that dice pool and spend your resources for rerolls and such like that to complete this goal, at the end, you are going to either exhaust those dice or lose them, depending on the challenge that you completed. So it's a great mix of upgrading your dice and feeling really powerful and wanting to use those most powerful dice at the right time for the right challenge that you're trying to complete, but also saving them for the perfect time and really getting to maximize that leveling up. So it's a really good balance of that, of leveling up the dice, not spending them too early, and looking for that perfect opportunity. So my number 9 is Tidal Blades Heroes of the Reef. Now remember, I said in the beginning that not all of them have a large dice pool. That's going to be true for my number 8, which is Final Girl. Now on Final Girl, sometimes you are just rolling one die, but I still consider it a dice chucking game because the entire gameplay is driven by the result of that die. So it has 3 different sides, either a complete failure, a success, or the middle one in which you can discard cards from your hand in order to make that a success. So it comes at an expense, right? So a little bit of mitigation in there. Oh, there is so much tension. Even if you were just rolling one die, you're assigning an action with a card to ultimately try to take out the big bad and be the last one standing. You have that die in your hand, and you really need to be able to search, or you really need to be able to land this attack. And you have that die, and you're just hoping for that success side. So each card is going to have a level of how well you do, how many successes you get, how powerful or costly that action is going to be. So again, you don't roll very many dice in this, but it really feels like you're chucking it because of the tension behind the end result that you get. So for number 8 for me is going to be Final Girl. My number 7 is Yahtzee Rolling Goodness, and this is going to be King of Tokyo. Kind of a classic in my family at this point. I put this more into the almost party game category. It's not quite a party game, but you can play with larger player counts, and it's really quick and easy to pick up. If you know Yahtzee, you know 90% of this game. You're going to be rolling a handful of dice, and those results dictate what you're going to be able to do to the other players. You want to be king of the hill, last man standing, last monster standing here in Tokyo. In order to do that, you're going to roll these dice, and if you get fist, you're going to punch the opponents. If you get stars, you're going to get some points. Or I guess numbers, you get the star points out of it. And then if you get the hearts, you get to heal. So you're really trying to balance, man, I'm in a perfect position to really just hit everybody because right now I'm in Tokyo. And so you're rolling that, trying to get the punches. but maybe all you get is hearts. And so you really have to try to balance what you're going to reroll, when you're going to reroll, and be really tactical as the dice come to play to be the last monster standing. So my number 7 is going to be King of Tokyo. And at number 6, we have Massive Darkness 2. I love the dice pool in this game. I love every turn that I am attacking, assembling my dice pool. I think it's really unique because in your hand of dice that you're going to be rolling each time you attack, you're rolling not just for yourself, but also the defense of the monster that you're rolling against. And same thing, every time they attack, you're building a dice pool that includes their attacks and your defense. So it's really, I guess, quick and easy to assemble that dice pool and have all the results in one roll right in front of you. I like that a lot, the simplicity of the dice chucking. But also, it means that you're rolling like 8 dice instead of just 4 for yourself. So you really have this opportunity to have a whole handful of dice that you are just shaking and rolling out. And then that moment of kind of calm once it's all out there and everyone's kind of mapping it out. Oh, I get hit for 3, or oh, I hit for 2. Oh, that takes him out just perfectly. And so it just really has a nice cadence to the game, I feel like, in the way the dice chucking comes to play in Massive Darkness. I like that also it's not the win condition of the game is not always to take out the big bad, but that is an element of it. There are different goals that you're trying to complete. So it has this nice balance of dice chucking that you're going to do consistently through, but there are also other goals to kind of balance that out. So I really like Massive Darkness 2, and that is why it's my number 6 dice chucker. And at number 5, we have Too Many Bones. Too Many Bones is interesting because you are going to be assembling a dice pool specifically with your attacks and your shields and things like that. But you also have to, throughout the gameplay, unlock your special ability, which are going to be additional dice that you can use. Some of these won't be rolled during the game. You are just simply ticking them up or ticking them down. But there's other ones, depending on your character. It's really interesting that every character is different in how they're going to use their dice, and you actually building your pool is character dependent. Because you have a limited dice pool that you can have each round, depending on the stats you've built, you have to carefully choose when to roll those special dice. And they're very character dependent. Every character is completely different. So I think that brings a really neat puzzle element to this dice chucker, which is why it's my number 5. At number 4, I have Fox Experiment. I really enjoy the way your dice pool grows through this game. And it's going to happen naturally. It's not something that you have to seek out to do, because ultimately you are choosing 2 parents who are then going to breed and make a pup. And the next round, you're going to choose 2 of those pups who then once again breed, and they have their set number of dice that you will roll. So there are just more dice in the pool as the pups get stronger in certain qualities and traits. The dice chucking is also really nice because you are really, I guess, exciting because you are trying to go for specific trait combinations. And so as you are rolling these dice out there, you're looking at the results and be like, man, I really needed 3 of this certain trait. I only got 2.5. But wait, I have this special token over here, which is a bonus one, which will allow me to link it to this other trait in order to get the 3 I need. So it's really about chucking the dice and then puzzling them out and working them in your favor to what you're looking for. And I think that is a really interesting, not even really mitigation, but puzzle that comes to this dice chuck. So that is why Fox Experiment is my number 4. And at number 3, we have The Reckoners. Now, this is based on Brandon Sanderson's young adult novel, The Reckoners, of the same name, but you don't have to have read that series in order to appreciate this one, and especially not for its dice chucking. This is going to be a cooperative game where you're trying to take out enough of the little minions in order to finally be able to attack the big boss and ultimately take him out. This is, once again, kind of like King of Tokyo when I was saying it's going to be a Yahtzee-style game where you roll all your dice and you get up to 2 re-rolls, so 3 rolls total. But each one you have to keep at least 1 die. So I think that this is really interesting and leads to this communication and great cooperation because, okay, best laid plans, right? I need to attack over here. I need to take this guy out. I can come and research this guy a little bit, which will bring him down there. Do you think you'll be able to do 1 hit? All right, you try to do a hit and I'll try to do this research. Cool, we all good? Great. And then, of course, like any good dice chucker or Yahtzee, you roll the dice and you're like, Okay, none of that happened. Let's reevaluate. What can we do? And so on each of those Yahtzee rolls, when you're all rolling simultaneously here, you're talking after each of the rolls. So I think it's a dice chucker, but in a slower, kind of more methodical way because of the simultaneous play and the re-rolls. There's just great communication and cooperation through the whole thing. And it really feels good because each turn you have 3 of those dice chucking moments where you're holding your breath, hoping to be able to fulfill your plans. So number 3 is the Reckoners. And number 2, we're going to step a little outside and go to a more open world game. And this is going to be Sea of Legends. Now, Sea of Legends is, again, just one of those games where you're going to have a handful of dice chucking and it feels so good. By mid-game, you are easily rolling 10 dice on your turn. I really enjoy that, and because you're attacking and rolling these dice to attack other players as well as to attack some NPC characters. So it's about moving yourself in the right position, make sure you're building up your crew, make sure you have the right items, that you've done the right things to go into these big battles. And you roll those dice and then you're looking down at your crew and seeing who can mitigate what to ultimately have the most successes and overcome your opponent. And you're doing this consistently through the game. So it feels great when you finally have that moment with the perfect crew that you've built and you're grabbing this handful of 10 dice, of 14 dice, and you're rolling them out, and then you're spending your different items and you're utilizing your crew in order to really come out on top. And that just feels like such a great epic moment each time when you're already going through this epic pirate adventure for yourself. So for that, I really think that there's a lot of fun and excitement that comes from each time you roll, and that's why it's my number 2, Sea of Legends. And if you know me and my taste at all, then you know my number 1 dice chucker is, of course, Project Elite. I adore this game. This is a dice chucker because similar to my number 10 Fuse, that's what you're doing the whole game, is you are chucking these dice in a real-time element. Now, rather than Fuse, where you're rolling them the entire time, in Project Elite, there are 2-minute windows of action time, if you will. So you have your pool of dice, and you are rolling them, you are activating them, saving some if you want, and then re-rolling everything else. Those dice rolls are dictating everything that you are going to do. They are dictating your movement because you can only move if you get that movement side of the die. They're dictating the alien movement because if you get that alien side of the die, you have to move an alien. They're dictating when you can shoot your gun because you have to get the right symbols in order to power up your gun. And then once your gun is ready and it's loaded, it's locked and loaded and ready to go, then you use your other pool of dice to actually shoot it and see if you hit. So in that 2 minutes, everybody simultaneously is rolling their dice and reacting to them. But what I love about it, it's this dice chucking tension as you're going, right? And you're just trying to move. I'm just trying to run. I'm trying to run. I can't get a movement to save my life. Someone else flies by you, and so maybe they go to get that goal. And then at the end of the 2 minutes, when the buzzer goes off, everyone just takes a deep breath and you realize everyone had been standing. You didn't even realize you stood up, but just the excitement of the game, the excitement of those dice chucks and those dice rolls just kind of brought everything up to full tension. And then you have a nice break where you can, reconvene and talk about the plan and what it is you're wanting to do. So that is why Project Elite is my number 1 dice chucker. And there you have it. Those are my personal top 10 favorite games that have dice chucking in them for a variety of reasons. Maybe it's the real-time element, maybe it's the dice assembly, or the mitigation, the dice pool assembly, or maybe it's the mitigation that does something special for me. So that's what I think. What do you think? Let me know down below. Which ones did I miss or forget about? And which ones do you still find yourself bringing to the table when you just want to roll some dice and have some fun? That's going to be it for me today here at the Dice Tower. Thanks for joining. I'm Camilla.
Hey folks, thanks for watching another one of our videos. If you like our videos, if you like our channel, you would love to game with us at one of our conventions. Check out Dice Tower Cruise, Dice Tower East, and Dice Tower West. Fantastic conventions where we play games with wonderful people, a humongous library, and lots of other events and stuff. Also, don't forget to check out our channel, like and subscribe. I'm Tom Bassel.